on behalf of Ivan Sperling and Vlasta Sperlingova, Trix and Dola Trilikeka, and everyone here. We want to wish the lovely couple the greatest happiness in their life and a long and productive marriage together. We're going to treat you tonight with speeches from around the world. And you've got an Anglo-Indian Australian starting off, but I think we've got an Italian Australian, Bruno, who's going to tell you more about Nick.
On behalf of the ethnic community.
All right. Okay. Is that okay or is that too loud?
No, that's great.
All right. Now, look, I just want to say, on behalf of the ethnic community, no. Look, today has been a great day, and those of us who are privileged enough to be at that wedding, there was a lot of serious stuff there, but here tonight, Nick, we're amongst good family, we're amongst bad friends, okay? And you're just going to take the good with the bad here, baby. But look, it was in, and I got to get this right, probably around January 2010, which isn't all that long ago for this old man, and Nick, being the animal that he is hungry, right? But I love this, and it's so predictable, and it's so Nick. He gets onto the, is it a dating website or whatever? And it's called www.spiceoflife.com.au. And I think, Nick, spice of life, it's got to make sense. Anyway, this is in January. Hello? Yes. This is in January. There's poor Eva, triple I, innocent and legal immigrant, okay? And she's there in Sydney. Nick is up in Brisbane, obviously. And I don't know, probably 5 or 6 weeks later, anyway, Nick drives down to Sydney. Now listen, fellas, I am 62 years old soon, but I'm going to tell you young bucks some new things which I learnt through this young buck, right? You don't have to buy chocolates. You don't have to send flowers. You don't have to buy movies and theatres and go to restaurants. You know what you do? You buy a good four-wheel drive. You drive down to Sydney. You tie her up, gag her up, throw her in the front seat, and you drive 4,600 kilometres around Southeast Australia. And that's no joke. That's what this guy did, right? And so, on June the 6th, 2010, I am driving to Carlton, to Lygon Street, Carlton, Little Italy. And I'm going to a bloody Indian restaurant, thank you, in Little Italy, Lygon Street, Carlton. Because that's where Nick says, we got to meet Eva, and I'm going to catch up with Nick, right? And I can remember this clearly. I walked up to this dirty four-wheel drive, but it's new, right? And I thought, out steps Eva. And it took her about a minute to get those legs out of that car. and then she stood up. And I thought, holy moly. Anyway, so I went up on my toes. I can remember this. And I shook hands and I said, Eva, nice to meet you. I've heard about you. And I kissed her on the cheek. And you could just see her. She didn't say anything. She didn't, oh, she smiled. She smiled. But you could see she still looked down and saying, you're a bloody idiot, Bruno. But I think, tough, right? So look, all of that in just a couple of months. And I think, phenomenal, Nick, phenomenal. If I go back to when I first met Nick, because this is mostly about Nick, folks, and if there's anybody else who wants to throw in mud, let me know. It was late 2006 when I got a phone call and I was working for Strategic Airlines, and before I knew it, Nick was working for Strategic Airlines as well, thankfully on the right bloody seat, right? But anyway, it wasn't long before we were just trading blows and insults across the Indian Ocean, going to and from the Middle East. And it didn't take long for him to go from the right seat to the left seat and all that sort of stuff. Where was I going with this? But I tell you, when you fly with Nick, it's always different. When Nick would overnight, you'd go out to the aircraft the next day, you pull out the table, and there would be, and on the Airbus, and I love Airbus, this is Europe, I love it. Anyway, you open up the tray table, and there would be a Playboy, and it's not your sister's. It would be there would be a Hugh Hefner special type of thing, and you think, oh yeah, Nick's been here, sort of thing. So you close it. But on more, I don't know, aggressive style of things, when Nick was overnighting, we have, and I love computers, not, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cathode ray screens, right? And you'd see them just because he is anal, he's neat and tidy, he's got these beautiful women in each TV screen, right there, right there, right there. And we knew who it was. Gordana has got photographs of that to prove what I'm saying is true. Yes. And look, there's one thing I've learned about Republic of Czech, sorry. Yes, the Republic, the Czech Republic. Very tall people, beautiful women, right? Yes. And your breweries are famous. You're world famous for breweries, right? Seb? Yes, thank you. A troubled man. Whatever. An Arab. No. Yes, but none of you people probably know that Nick lived in Brewery Place itself. It was a street called Brewery Place in Darwin, Northern Territory, because that's where Strategic Airlines crew were based. So I can tell you, you've got some great breweries and you've got some great beers. But I can tell you what's happened at Nick's Brewery Place leaves you for dead. Okay? I mean it. And I can tell you, Gordy and yes, come on, Rosie, come on out and say something, because Rosie and Gordy both lived with Nick at some stage of whatever. Please, come on, Rosie, tell us something about this anal guy. Yes.
Okay, we talk about what used to go on there.
Yes.
Nick used to have barbecues and barbecues to end all barbecues. I have to say, you've seen nothing like it. He's an animal. Look at him, he's all like contained at the moment, but he was. It's just scary. You know, there was a cyclone that happened. Do you know where we were the night of the cyclone? We were buying a barbecue so that he could throw a party for all the crew. Yes. Extremely motivated individual and organised. He picked the day before the cyclone. Thank you.
Good stuff. Gordy, where's Gordy? Please, Gordy. No, she loves me. She loves me not. Hey, Gordy. Oh, thank you, Gordy. All right. Okay, Gordy. All right, whatever. But look, I do know that Nick loves lists. He loves making lists of things. Yes, and so do you, Eva. I'm told you both like making lists for whatever. Is that right? But yeah, he's anal. But anyway, okay, so look, that's basically Nick. It was a fun to work with him, and it was a pleasure to also work with a guy like Seb, who, yeah, has now moved on to Emirates. Good riddance. No, good stuff. Eva, I don't know much about you. And I certainly don't know much about your mum and dad, right? Like Indian. Yes, here we are. But look, I just want to say that I had to do some groundwork to find out something funny about you, but I couldn't find anything very... Look, no, this is what people would say. Bruno, she's hospitable, she makes wonderful apple strudel. Thank you. Apple strudel. She makes wonderful apple. She's very resilient. She's very, what's the word? And I think it comes from your dad. He'll be doing triathlons in a wheelchair when he's 90. You're very resourceful. That's what I've heard. What else? Punctual. You like to, except today. Yes, that's all right. That's your prerogative. What else? Yes, and also Uncle Sonny said something about you, and my mind went crazy. He said you have very strong upper body strength. That's what he said, yes. I don't know why. Something to do with suitcases and no wheels or something. I don't know.
You're getting with his arms then?
Yeah, right. All right. And yeah, but one thing I will say, and I will quote, literally quote, and that came from Gordana. And I've got to keep a straight face here when I say that, is that you are a beautiful, and I'll quote, beautiful, beautiful person inside and out. Yes, thank you. And yeah, I think that is fantastic. And let me assure you, no one has ever said that to me, okay? Tough, all right. What else can I say? Mum and Dad, I will probably never know you very well, okay? and your brother Peter and family. But I just want to say you have a sense of decency about you all that I admire very much. I really mean that. You have a lovely city. You have lovely people here around you here. Your cuisine is beautiful. And I'm just totally impressed with what I have seen of you people and what we've got outside. There's a heap of other things I want to say. I forget.
We give you the mic again, Leo.
Negative. No, I would just say, look, I tell you what, it was this young gentleman who proposed a toast to Eva and Nick earlier. Yes, that's right, when we were at lunch. Would you care to do that again? Because I thought it was very well done, and I think I'd like to finish on that note. Okay?
Hooray.
Hooray!
Hip hip.
Hooray!
And
Thank
one
you.
for lot. Hip hip.
Well done, young man. All the best. Well done, Pete.
Now, all the way from the Czech Republic, we have Daniel to give us some verse about Eva.
This my attempt must be introduced a bit. There was originally a different plot conspired about the abduction of bride. But the scheme was not carried out. Part of the scheme was a letter to a groom for him to be able to bring his bride back. Well, pray, let me address it now for your amusement. Maybe it will be just better if I read it aloud, because I'm not certain with this apparatus. So, it was supposed to be a letter, so it's been addressed to Nikhil, Prince of East. Quote, about a bride abduction which never happened. To try your prose, strength and wit, we took your bride elsewhere and hid, in a place of steel and glass, where bride's friends work and last, where your sweetheart spent most time long ago. Hither you seek her, hither you should go. Seek the wise, ask advice. Bribe the gate guard, use your cunning. Behind the glass door you get running. Seek meekly the second floor. Alas, another glass door. Dial 403. If your wit is spent and at its end, look at bright red letters at your hand. Letters mark the number of a phone, which, if need be direst, you should toll. Alas, another took the young fair bride, and elsewhere she got hid in palace wide. Nah, many a scheme fails, just like wise man tells. It all could end bit more worse, though I hope you like the verse. No harm's done, signed, done.
Dobrý den a vítáme vás. Namaste or swagatham. G'day and welcome to you all. Yep, we'll prepare a speech, and I think you'll just work it out the way what we've done. It's now that time that I have to make a speech, so here I start off with mine. I know that speeches are long and boring and put people to sleep. So instead, I'm going to do just that. So be warned, it is long, and so if you'd like to help yourself to drinks or something else, please, or even get yourself a pillow and a blanket, go ahead. First of all, I want to say that that rice and confetti welcome that we got back there was pretty poor attempt. With the amount of rice and mashed potatoes that could have been available at this wedding, I think we got away really lightly with that. Come on, it could have been a better attempt. A lot of you, I know my family, probably saying, finally, well, he's done it. It's about time. It's about time. Well, yes, we finally did it. Yeah, but wow, what a ride it has been for both of us. I'm not so sure if all of you have seen the television series, The Amazing Race. Well, interesting because, well, that's exactly what it's been for us for the last 2 years. Probably minus the television cameras, which just happened to be there today. But yes, that's what I want to say. It's really been an amazing race for the two of us. Grab a seat, some of you guys, because it really is going to take long. I promised you it would. Well, the last 2 years really has been a hell of a race for both Eva and me. And it hasn't been all easy by any stretch of imagination. Just to be with each other, we've had to deal with a lot of last-minute bookings and flights and roster changes and pleading people in offices to let us go for a short while just to be with each other. Around school and work, and until we finally decided it would be best that Eva moved to Brisbane and live with me. But no, it didn't stop there. Soon after that, it was visa paperwork as well. It was stacked up to our noses in paperwork, etc. And I know a lot of you, familiar faces all over, have helped us with that, and it's truly appreciated. Letters from you all to assist our cases. It's still fresh in our memories with the amount of help we've got from many of you standing even in this room. And apart from that was also the many trips away from home that I've had to make without Eva, and it's been hard on us in that respect, but eventually led to good times that followed. But of course it wasn't all that hard and difficult. There were some many positive things that happened for us. We managed to start traveling eventually after things settled down for us, and we were able to introduce each other to our families and friends, and the product of which you're actually seeing around over here. A lot of family and friends that we've managed to introduce ourselves to are present standing here in this room, which is really great. And we've also managed to travel to a lot of beautiful places in the world, and topped it all off with a wonderful trek to the top of the world, to the Mount Everest Base Camp trek just last year, climbing up to 18,200 feet, or in meters, that's 5,550 meters. It was an unforgettable trip, and which forged us the bonds between Eva and me even stronger very quickly. Many of you might know that in February this year, I actually lost my job, leaving me looking for a new job. Both Eva and I had to quickly pack up all our possessions and move away from Brisbane, which was home to us, which wasn't really easy. And around all this, we also had to plan this wedding. But with the help of a lot of family and friends, again, I'll keep stressing, many of you around over here in the same very room that we are standing in have helped us so much, which has actually allowed us to be where we are today as a married couple. It's been tough in some respects, been exciting in many respects, but here we are. But recently, on arrival in Prague 2 weeks ago with my sister and Eva, we were thrown into the deep end once again, and it felt like we were back again in that TV series Amazing Race. It really was, because we had to rush around from office to office to office, and documents and paperwork. And if it wasn't for the assistance of my sister, Melina over here, who assisted us with a lot of that, I think we would have had a big problem sorting things out before today. It was hectic, fun, exciting, frustrating, and sometimes downright anger-filled experiences that we've had in the last couple of weeks. I think a lot of my family around me would testify to that. But finally we made it, and we made it with 2 days to spare. And here's an interesting fact we learned along the way. One of the documents we had to obtain for this marriage was something called a certificate of no impediment, which we could only get from the Australian consulate in Prague. Well, the consulate themselves were fantastic, and it was issued in about 20 minutes, which was not the problem. But the Czech officer at the consulate himself thought there was some sort of epidemic going on in Australia, because I was the third Australian pilot in 2 weeks to approach the office for a certificate of no impediment. Well, obviously Czech girls are very popular with Australian pilots, I'd say. Well, no marriage or ceremony can be completed or be successful or be planned without the assistance of others. And the same goes for this one. And Eva and I really want to thank a lot of people over here who are directly and indirectly involved with with assisting us. It will take a while, so bear with us, please, as we go through the list of thank yous. Our first big thank you really must go out to my little sister, Melina. For all the work she's done as the wedding planner. For the past 2 weeks, Millie has worked non-stop in her role, organizing everything for us. If one could only see the spreadsheets, notes, daily appointments, financial accounting, and the details she coordinated for us. The tasks she carefully assigned to us as well. And in a rostered timetable. Just could not believe it. You would be amazed too if you actually saw it. I can highly recommend her services to anyone looking for a wedding planner or even a virtual assistant anywhere. But the only problem I might face is with her husband, Mark. I don't know where you are, Mark, because Mark's probably going to lose her services if she ever did head off successfully somewhere else, because Millie does work in a professional role for Mark. There'll be one person who won't be too happy with that. Millie has been the central point of contact for Eva and me for the last 2 to 3 weeks, actually. And as you'll soon notice, she has coordinated all the events today. You probably have already. From the ceremony to the band, to the transport, to the hotel, to the food, decorations, and the hair, makeup, wardrobe, etc. Geez, at least this goes on. So once again, thank you, Millie, for everything you've done for us. Thank you, Vinita, my older sister, for all your moral support and older. for all the moral support over the last few months, years, and well, forever really, and even the recent days leading up to the wedding. Thanks for always being there for us as well for the last 2 years. Vinita's also worked hard and silently behind the scenes on nurturing the fruit that went into that wedding fruitcake. All the long-distance logistics, etc., the table decor, taking care of the wedding rings, filling the bags with the goodie bags, favors bags, etc., and the Indian sweets, which you will soon enjoy. Thanks also to Nico. I don't know where you are. Nico must be running around somewhere. Yeah. And thank you for helping me de-stress at times and taking me out to the park to play football. That actually did help me, Coach Nico. So I thank you too. He loves his football and his Chelsea football team. Go Chelsea. And a very special thanks to my mum. Mum has been a pillar of support, not only for me, but for Eva as well in the recent past. It's been great to see Eva and Mum get along so well. And recently, Mum has been so helpful to the both of us with all the shopping and preparations for the wedding in Australia, in India, in England, in Prague as well, very recently. And I cannot forget to thank Mum for the many hours, weeks, and months, yes, months, she spent in planning and making the wedding fruitcake. Cakes are Mum's specialty, actually, and once again, she has done a fantastic job. I can see you all ducked into it, so as they all say, the proof is in the pudding. You can tell me. And Dad, thank you for being the overall overseer of everyone and everything and making sure everyone was progressing and going ahead. in only the best way that you can. Because I don't think anyone else can do that whatsoever. And a big thank you to my new and extended Czech family for all that they've done, especially in our absence and leading up to this wedding as well. We'd like to get into that and to the thank yous. There are a lot of people that we need to thank, so like I said again, please bear with us. Eva's parents and my new parents-in-law, Ivan and Vlasta, have done so much of the initial spade work for us while Eva and I were in other parts of the world. They organized and submitted paperwork and that were required to be submitted for the wedding today, all in our absence, and they've been great with that. Not only were they the ones to recommend Verbotska Zahrada, where we were this morning, they were also instrumental in locking in Mr. Makovichka, who was the... There he is, the priest. Why don't you stand here next to us? The lovely man and the priest who presided over the ceremony today. Thank you. Ivan and Vlasta have thrown open their hearts and their homes to me and have accepted me wholeheartedly. Thank you, Ivan and Vlasta, for accepting me into my new family. Even Eva's brother, Petr, not so sure where Peter is, but yeah, I'm sure he is around here somewhere, has played an important part as well. He was instrumental in getting Eva to, well, in a very special way, get together with me. And I think there's one person standing here who's actually let out on that secret. But it was something you guys were going to figure out in that quiz. So if anyone had run through that quiz, you'd probably get the answer to that. Anyway, thank you, Peter, is what I'm trying to say. Encouraging Eva and me to get together in that little special way that we actually did. Thank you, Auntie Marta, for helping us yesterday. All the family enjoyed getting to know you and appreciated all the help you put together around the dinner table yesterday. Again, many hands make light work, and your presence actually did help us a lot. Amita, where are you? Oh, there you are. Thank you, Amita, for doing Eva's makeup. Eva had fun getting to know you and AP over the last, recent past. And Eva really enjoyed the final product of what you've actually managed to produce for her on the day. She loved it, and she loved getting to know you as well. Thank you, Uncle Sonny, as well, for your perpetual guidance and your continuous support, very quietly, like you always say, for us over the years. Thank you, Uncle Sonny, for being present in our lives. Thank you, Peter, Jacinta, and family, for everything you've done for me. I mean, you've always been there for me and have been just that extended, as you said, the closest thing that I've had to a brother for almost 25 years now. Thank you, Peter, Jacinta, and all the family. And thanks to all those family members and friends who wanted to be here with us today but couldn't make it due to various personal circumstances. Also a special thanks to Jagdish and Sharmila. While I'm actually saying these thank yous, a family in Australia, friends of ours who actually couldn't be here today, for all their assistance over the last 2 years, especially recently during really difficult times, personally for Eva and myself. Thank you, Jagdish and Sharmila and family. Mazad, Milad and family, our thoughts are with you as well on this special day for us. I know how much you really wanted to be here, and we can understand the reasons why you're not here with us today. Our thoughts are also with those close family members who have recently passed away. I know you'd be very happy for the two of us. Some of you actually did kind of get to know Eva for a very short period, perhaps over Skype, not even personally, but I know you're looking down upon us and very, very happy for us. Thank you to Mr. Sedlacek and Roman and all the staff over here at Hotel Monica for putting up with us, first of all, the noisy guests that we have actually given them, and they've done a really great job with the food and the spread that they put up over here and the hospitality that they've offered to all of us, and making our day comfortable and a happy day for us all. I've actually got to get to know more of Eva's family as I've been here over the last 2 weeks now, and we got to meet Eva's cousin Silva, her husband Tomasz, and the other Tomasz, and little Cuba. It's been great getting to know them as well, and I'm sure I'm going to get to know more of the family as time goes by. But they've been of fantastic help over the last week or so. So thank you to them as well. But there are many family and friends who have come from far, far away, and to be here on this special day for us. And in the words of someone I know, yes, this does look a bit like a Benetton ad or the United Nations. But it's all you guys who've been over here. So I'd like to, for those who probably haven't met each other, I'd like to just touch on the fact that we've got people from all over the place, and I'd like to run through a few names as well. From Australia, cousin Peter Archer, thank you so much for being here and coming all that way that you have from Melbourne. Uncle Sonny from Sydney. Bruno Poletto, the person I knew as the Red Baron, who finally became the Red Dog, roaming around the red outback of Western Australia. Thank you for being here with your beautiful wife, Ellie, as well. Of course, Ellie comes from the more sophisticated side of Australia, Melbourne. Rosanna Brown from Binder, Cairns, Queensland. Gordana Trikulia from Melbourne. Sebastian Marson from Sydney, Melbourne, Dubai, and well, many parts of the world, but there he is standing out there. Thank you, Seb, for being here with us today. Cousin Laura Jane Archer from Melbourne and now from Lyon, France. Tammy Neal from Brisbane. And actually from all over the world right now. Mum and Dad, not to forget, from Mumbai, India. They've also been traveling, but they're a traveling pair, so I can't really tell where they're coming from. Thanks, Mum and Dad, also for all that you've done for us and obviously for being here with us. And from England, Sister Vinitha and Nico from St. Albans. Prayman from London. Sister Millie and Mark from St. Albans. Amita and Afaru from London. Cousin John and Rosanna from West Sussex. There they go. From Switzerland. Originally from Germany, Constance Yaron, a friend of ours, who's actually spent a whole year in Australia just last year, from December to December, and she's just come back home. Thanks, Constance, for making this trip to be with us today on this special day. And how can I forget Arun Shirali, standing right over here. And I've seen this guy after about 20-odd years, but it's great to see him and on our wedding day as well. Arun, originally from Mumbai, now a Frenchman living in Paris. Thank you, Arun, for being here. Well, this is a long way for you guys to all travel to come over here. Well, I'm not so sure if I would have done that for you. But jokes aside, your presence here is truly, truly appreciated. I know what went into your plans to come over here. So like I said, truly, truly appreciated. Thank you all for being here. In the last few days, Eva's extended family have actually been keeping me on a very healthy diet of apples, plums, and pears. But the only difference to the way you and I have it is that the fruit was actually sitting at the far end of a bottle of schnapps, or slivovitsa as we call it over here. And I know that there are some people right here who are actually responsible for those very, very happy evenings that we spent at the end of that day. I would like to add a special thanks to both our parents over here, both our sets of parents over here, for something special they passed on to us ever since the day we were born. And actually that has been the wonderful set of values they've actually passed on to us, that have actually been impressed upon us and been imbibed by us, and we've held on to it so tightly. And as family, we've just carried it along with us through our lives to date. Eva and I intend definitely to pass these values on to our own children. And thank you, Mom, Dad, Ivan and Vlasta, for ensuring that we actually did grow up in the way we did. Family and friends, well, thank you for putting up with that. Well, some of you must have been a really boring speech, but like I said, we had to go through a few of those motions and thank a lot of people, as you can have noticed. We just simply want to say that I'm extremely happy and a very, very lucky man in one of the most beautiful cities of the world with our families and our friends, to be marrying the most beautiful woman in my life and my best friend ever. Thank you. Thank you for putting up with that, and thank you for being here.
I think that all things have been said, but I am sorry that I don't speak too much in English, and even I don't usually speak too much in Czech. Well, let's say I don't speak too much at all. So I try to make my speech as short as possible. So I say something about the history. Some years ago, we hope that when Eva grew adult, and will be probable that she would leave our family nest, that she would leave somebody very close to us, prefer next to door. So we were a little shocked when we learned that she met somebody in the opposite side of the world in Australia, and that the person would be probably her or life partner. But when we met Nick here in Prague personally, we found that he's a very nice person, and they both match to each other very nice, and they also behave to each other very, very pleasant and nice. And we learned that in this time of internet and other things, is not the distance matter of human happiness, and that we prefer that the two people are happy than to have our daughter close to us. And we are very, very proud how Eva and Nick were be able to overcome our obstacles. Started with climbing the base camp in the Himalayas, but also all the bureaucracy connected with receiving the wedding permissions, which was probably much harder than lack of oxygen near Everest. So we believe, and even we are sure, that they will be happy with each other, and they are going to have nice life and many happy days in future. And we keep cross fingers for them, but I think it's not necessary, because they are so nice and clever that they manage to do their life happy and nice without our help. But we try to help them, of course, anytime if it is necessary. And we are also happy that in these days our family changed so wide that we have, let's say, a worldwide family in this moment. Thank you for listening.